So I haven't been on BookTube for a while. Guilty as charged. Yeah, I haven't really been reading that much. My life may or may not be hitting the fan. You know, I can't read when I'm stoned. I really can't. I've tried and I just end up like reading the same line over and over again. And I've been hitting the ganja pretty hard for the past couple weeks. I've also been drinking coffee too, so I'm like all sorts of fucked up. I feel like I'm on hard drugs, like smoking weed and coffee. Like, Jesus Christ, it's like an 8-ball or something. Anyway, it hasn't been the best for reading, and I've been pretty busy with work and my personal life. I have been reading some books. I've been kind of forgetting about what I've been reading because I haven't been using Goodreads, and I know one of the first videos I ever made, I was talking about how I really need to start like taking like keeping track of different books that I read because I don't know what I read unless if I'm like physically writing it down. So for I think like my last video was in February, and in that month I read The Perfect Nanny, and I read it I think on a plane, like almost all of it on a plane. It was super riveting. It was really good. It's a great French thriller. It is definitely creepy. The nanny, it's I mean the first like page, it tells you that the nanny kills the kid. Yeah, it's just super creepy, but it's really good. I'd recommend it. It's a very quick thing. I got the recommendation from Book Riot, the podcast, and then I think I've read another book. Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ning. I don't know if I rated this one on Goodreads or not. I listened to it on audio. I was not that much of a fan. It was just like hard to connect. She just almost, I can't believe I'm saying this right now because I never say this ever. I think this is the first time I've ever said it. Like the character development was too much. It was too fucking deep, Celeste, okay? I do not need to know all of these details about the characters. You know what I mean? It was hard for me to really keep up with it all. It was like plotty, plot. All right, this is a flashback, and this is something else, and you don't really care about this, but I'm going to flashback and keep flashback and all. So like the first half of the book, like I was cool with the flashbacks, but then it got a bit too much for me, and the ending was just fucking dumb. I talked about it with my friend, and I was giving the character the benefit of a doubt. And my friend was like, no, dude, like, that's not what happened. I was like, God damn it. I didn't want that to be the ending, so I believed something else, but it was the ending, and I just really wasn't into it. I guess if I could rate it, I would maybe give it, like, 2.5 stars. Let's just go with that. The Perfect Nanny was, like, a solid 4. And so I think I read The Perfect Nanny in February and Celeste Ning in March, and then I read, like, 2 books in April. Or maybe just one. I think maybe just Paper Girls. Volume 3, which like is a graphic novel. So fun for me. I have been reading like not that much, but I'm getting back into it. I miss it. I really do. I like, you know, you read and then your brain is somewhere else. It's not on planet Earth, you know. My brain needs to be not so much in this reality right now, if you know what I'm saying. I read Paper Girls Volume 3. It's like super great. Like they're always great. There's like a blurb on the back of it. It was like, this is Stranger Things before Stranger Things was a thing, and it's so groovy. I love it. And then I also read Paper Girls Volume 4, and that one, they're just so good. I love the costuming in it. I think my personal style, I mean, I know this isn't like really representative of like what I'm about to say, but I really want to start dressing more like a comic book character every day. Because like, why the fuck not? Like, fashion should be fun. And I don't really like own that many clothes, but you can get creative. Like honestly, even just like little pigtails or shit like that, you know, like boom, I look, you know, like a comic book character with fucking boots and shorts and capes. I love the cape aesthetic, the duster, if you will. I really like how one of the characters grow, and I really like her fashion and Paper Girls, and it's just like super fun. I have just been reading that entire series inside of Barnes & Noble, and I'm kind of bad because sometimes I have them order it for me, And I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it, but I just like read it in the store. So like, sorry if that rubs some of you booksellers the wrong way, but who knows how many people are even gonna like, how many people even sticking with me? My fucking flaky ass, like just showing up whenever I fucking feel like it. Welcome to the big book. I think I'm caught up on Paper Girls. I think there's 4 volumes. And then I started this bad boy, Adjustment Day, from Chuck Palahniuk. I like talked about this in one of my Instagram stories. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm confused about the world. I think the POV switched too much for me. I'm listening to it pretty much on audio, even though I have this. And I feel like Chuck Palahniuk has some really good insight, but it's just sometimes his plot is so hard to get behind. It's just like, it's very brash almost. He's just like, this is the world, you're with it or not. And I need a little more than that. I need a little more than that, Chuck. I need a little more explanation and care for the world you're building. Because I feel like he does care about his characters, but his characters have very intricate thoughts. Maybe not so much like, you don't get the most background about them, but you really get to get in their head, which I like. I really like Chuck Palahniuk's philosophy. He seems kind of like a anarchist. I guess if I was gonna like line him up politically just by like his work that, I mean, he really does not seem to like capitalism at all. And like, me too, brother. And I think he's kind of like, a lot of his work is kind of like, burn it all, let's get rid of it, done with the system. And I am also into that. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really wondering whether or not I want to DNF this. If anybody is, like, a fan of Chuck or is reading this, please let me know how you're doing with this, because I'm not doing so good. It's interesting, but it's still kind of confusing to me. And I feel like I'm almost halfway, so... And then I just started this yesterday with Julia at Shakespeare and Such. We're doing a buddy read. Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. Look at this cover. It's so cute. It's seriously, it's like an emo book. And I'm here for it. Because, I mean, you can even see on the cover, they're just, you know, there's like Wes Anderson references, and they all wear black and tattoos, and he's a sad boy, and she's a sad girl, and I just love it. And her characters are really complex too. There's a scene I really like in here. I'm just like maybe 75 pages in it so far. There's a scene where she talks about somebody is like racist to her because she's Asian, and she calls them out on it. She's like, that's fucking racist. Like, don't be a racist. And the girl's like, I'm not a racist. And then she has a thought about how like Australian people are weird or something. And I was reading and I was like, ooh, that's kind of racist though. But then like the next line, she was like, man, that was kind of racist. I'm being racist. And I think that is such an important perspective to have. Just like racism. I know I'm like going on like a YA novel and like talking about racism. But it's really a lot deeper than like, this person's racist. They had a Confederate flag, you know? It's something that like everybody's a little racist towards something, and it's actively trying to be better about that. You know what I mean? It's just like nobody's perfect, and just like recognizing that you're in yourself, you know? So it was really cool that she like called somebody out on racism, and then she was like, wait a second, I'm being racist. Ah! Yeah, so I've never really like read a book that like has touched on that before. I feel like I would fucking love to read this in like middle school when I was a little emo girl. Yeah, but I'm like really loving this, and I really wasn't expecting to. And this is, I don't really have like a TBR. I've been like finding books in like little libraries and stuff like that. But if you have a recommendation for me, knowing my situation, that I just like really want to read some light stuff. I really like summer trash, summer beach trash, if you will. Something like super easy where I don't have to think that much and I can have fun and like turn off my brain, because I can't right now, with how my life's going, I can't like have like a fucking Donna Tartt in my life right now. It's too much. Oh, I started reading Kristen Hanna. I started reading this, like what is it, like The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, but it's too deep. Like, she's like alone and fucking, 80 pages in, she's like alone in Alaska with her family, and it's just like everybody has a drinking problem. I'm like, no. I cannot do that right now. Any fun little thing will be, little book will be greatly appreciated because I need that right now. I just need some fun, you know? I just need like a little fun book to read and just be like, oh my god, it's fun, it's funny, it's great. And that's all for today. I miss you guys so much. I want to start watching booktube videos because I haven't even, like, I really haven't been. I feel like I've just been getting stoned and watching Vines. And I mean, I've been working a lot. But like, in my spare time, instead of reading, I've just been like, welcome to Chili's. I feel like my brain's getting, I'm getting dumber, for sure. So I'm excited to be back. Thanks so much for watching. And let me know what I should read in the comments. And if you've read that Chuck Palahniuk book, what you think about that. If I should keep going. I probably will. I don't know. I want to DNF it. Ugh. That's it. I will link my Instagram and my Twitter. Instagram, just, yeah, add me if you want to follow my stories. I get, like, real weird on there, so I've been more active in my stories than on YouTube, but I fucking miss you, YouTube. I miss you, BookTube.